Yo, it's your boy DD.
It's Chi.
And we are
MIB. Let's get it.
Hey, man, I know I was out last week. Well, I apologize. Had to handle some family business, but we back. We live. We in effect today.
My man was out there getting that money. Go ahead. He was out there getting millions and wasn't sharing.
I heard running around, man. Everyday stuff, you know.
Yeah, everyday stuff. My man was getting out there getting that money. But go ahead, man. He came up with the topic. Go ahead.
All right. So today we talking about protecting assets, you know. It's important to have assets. It's important to know what an asset is, what's a liability. So we're going to briefly touch up on some things today, man. And a lot of people, before we even start, you know what I'm saying, let's go ahead and talk about what an asset is, man. So basically, what an asset is something that's going to accumulate you money while you're not at work. It's not an earned income, you know. It's a different stream of income. You feel what I'm saying? I started at the young age of 23, started my vending machine business, as we all know. I know y'all tired of hearing me talk about it probably.
Hey, man, keep on talking about it. I'm not annoyed by it.
Yeah, so they bring me in other people's money, you know what I'm saying? I make money while I sleep. That's what I love to do. I invest in stocks, you know. I make that bread, dividends. That's me. I'm a dividend investor. Hey, y'all watch out for Apple doing the 4-1 split. Go and cop that.
I seen you post something about that. Elaborate before we get into the conversation.
Yeah.
So elaborate on that.
All right. So basically what Apple is doing, if you buy one Apple stock, it's $400. What they going to do is they going to give you 3 more for free. And you got till the 24th to do that.
This coming month or?
This coming month. On the 31st, that's when it go into full effect. So if I told you about it, y'all hop up on it. You can go buy you some J's. You can go buy you something that's going to pay you.
So you can buy it right now, or on the 24th you can start?
No, the 24th is the deadline to buy it. Oh. You can't buy it right now. Stock market closes open 8 Friday through Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
It's 8 to 5.
Regular business hours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, hey, that's a good opportunity, man. But Apple always do that, you know, because people look at the stock that's $400. What would you rather buy something that's $400 or $100?
$100.
Exactly. So what they do, they make their stock look appetizing. You know what I'm saying? They make people want to buy. It's $100. You can go get that. So that's what they're doing that for. So you get 3 more for free.
After the pandemic and everybody gets back to work, and he say, I'm assuming people going to be buying a new iPhone and Apple products and all that stuff. So you're going to get your monies invested. Back.
I don't know if it's $1 trillion in business yet, but I think close.
I think Apple is the richest I think profit-wise or net worth-wise, they're the richest company.
They can buy almost every, I was watching a video yesterday, they can buy almost every stock in the stock market and still have money left over. That's the stock you want to invest in.
Their cash reserve is in the trillions. Not just reserve, they just to spend. I know they built the new Apple complex. It looks like a spaceship. It was the upwards of $50 billion. Man, they bought a place. They bought it in Silicon Valley in California, somewhere in California. It may not be Silicon Valley, but man, I'm like, man, 50 billion? Damn.
Yeah. So if I talk to you, that's a company you would want to invest in, something that's going to be around for the next 30, 40, 50 years. So y'all hop on.
That's an asset that's always going to... But yeah, man, let's dive back into the conversation. What is an asset to me? An asset is something that it's a resource and not a liability. If you don't... Everybody knows what's a liability. If you just... Not even in the workspace like us of being an entrepreneur, you just know what a liability is. It's one of those things. You always gonna have to spend money. You gonna have to always spend money to fix it instead of it coming. It's almost like my car is a liability because I'm also paying a note, but I'm also it's depreciating over time, and I got to keep on getting maintenance done and putting gas. To me, that's a liability because if it was a cash car and I paid, let's say $3,000 for it. I personally don't have to keep insurance on it. I said maintenance, but for the most part, it's not a liability. Because if I get a new car, 2018, 2019, okay, I'm forking out $500. Then I got to pay insurance. If my car, nothing happens to that car for 3 years, I just paid over close to $10,000 in insurance. I may be wrong. So that's a liability. That's not an asset. Now, some people say, well, it probably gets you back and forth to work. You can catch the bus. The bus is an asset to me.
I used to take the train.
He say a bus is an asset. So an asset is your house can be a liability asset depending on how you want to use it. Now, if I'm flipping a house, that's an asset. And but it comes a liability when I'm hemorrhaging money because I'm paying a note, paying my mortgage on it, but I'm constantly getting this fixed. And then after 30 years and I don't sell a house, or hypothetically I sell a house and No house should depreciate. But for the most part, I just want more money in the life of that house between the interest I'm gonna pay on the mortgage, whatever it is, and trying to keep it up and fixed, and I don't sell it or nothing like that. It was a liability. Unless I turn around and sell it for double the price and the money I put into it, that's a different story. But it is what it is. But do you know any liabilities you had when you first started doing your vending machines? Because we got to talk about that.
Okay, yeah. Some of the liabilities that I had was jewelry. Some of the stuff that I didn't need. I used to buy a lot of shoes, like I told you. Mm-hmm. That's a liability. Stuff that was holding me back from upgrading and innovating my business. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. What else would be a liability? Shoot, people that I hung out with. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is certain things that was holding me back, taking money from me where I could be placing it in the place of my business, getting more vending machines. That's kind of why I'm still not growing my business yet. I want to have all the pieces in the play, but sometimes you can't wait. Opportunity don't wait on nobody. So when I see a vending machine, I jump right on it. I don't hold back. I don't wait. It's time to go get it.
No, I fully understand. I think some of my liabilities just in life, but just like in the beginning, trying to get everything set up here for the studios, my liability was just going and rushing and buying stuff, and it was not needed. Yeah, I remember the camera situation of me buying a camera. That was a liability ultimately because I didn't even get my money back on it. Like I literally did. So it's like, that's a liability. You said it earlier. People you hang out with. We had a video shoot yesterday. I seen you leave and I left too. And it wasn't even because I just couldn't sit out there all day because I got other stuff to do. Like I have other stuff to do. I can't really just go party like I really want to. Yeah. Like I ended up going to an anniversary, but I ended up taking pictures there.
Working,
so I could party, get drunk and all that good stuff, but I can go do other things at the same time, and that didn't stop it. But it would have been a liability if I would have did that the photo shoot for free, which is my homeboy. The Vincent DB, appreciate. Hey, go check out his music. We shot a music video for him. I was a photographer for the day while he but it was just one of those things. Let's say if I would have just been there, like, and let's say somebody would have paid me to do something else, I would have lost out. Like, what if Vincent asked me to do it and was going to pay me and I chose not to do it, but I decided to go to the fucking bar? I became a liability. I'm not protecting my assets. So, like, something like that, a lot of times it becomes something like that. So, that part, it becomes hard. Man.
Yeah, and assets can be anything, man. Like, the other day, you can ask my little brother-in-law, man. I probably made $200 just cleaning shoes for people.
Hey, I be seeing you. I didn't know you clean shoes.
Oh, yeah, I do all that, man.
Man, you need to go ahead and tell them what you do. Like, we need to know what the hell do DD do?
The better question is, what don't I do?
I seen that you cleaned up some shoes, some all white stuff. I'm like, okay, I didn't even know Cuddy could do that.
Yeah, man, I do a lot. Yeah. They always leave good tips. They all good people, and I appreciate all the little people that slide up on my Snapchats and just be like, "Hey, we looking out for you. We'll repost it. We'll share it." You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I made $200 in like a day, and it only take me about an hour to clean the shoes. I let them dry. You know what I'm saying? I clean them up. I put some smell good on them. Send them back. You know what I'm saying? I always get good results. What other assets you got besides the media? I know you cut hair and stuff.
It's a media cut hair. I mean, okay. I got Lazy Boy Studios. That's the hub. This is the producer of everything we got going on. There's the media side that I'm getting better at. As you can see, me doing that photography. Oh yeah, that's me. I'm getting into that business and making videos, cutting hair. That's another venture. I am into stocks. I got Charles Schwab. That's the app I use for me and my two kids. I'm not well averse like you are, but I still, contribute money. Right now, I'm spending a lot of money on this, so I'm not really contributing money like I should and really been focused on the stock market, but I'm going to get to it. It's going to take time. For the most part, I'm creating more pod. I'm like I said, I tell you earlier, we're bringing on another young lady that was on the show last week, Desiree. Watch out, she's coming out in September. She's my next investment. Like, my thing is with this company, Lazy Boy, it's going to help people, to help me, to help us get to the next level. The biggest investment is into people, but it got to be the right type of people because you got liabilities people and you got assets. I seen a potential last Sunday. And now I'm about to go plant the seed so it can grow fruitfully. Whereas this person, they just want to take up and don't put nothing, like another person or someone else, they just want to take up the fruits and don't even want to replant it.
Termites,
like you got to weed them out. So that's my biggest thing is finding people like just go ahead and give y'all a thing. I'm in the process of trying to have Lazy Boy's own brand of clothing, but not just no simple print shirt, like actually clothing. And I actually got a guy that we actually know that I can tell you off air. He's actually going to be the face of it coming in November. And I already got like an Airbnb and found a leading lady and all that good stuff. And we're going to go into production of, doing clothing. Lazy Boy is going to be a clothing brand. And, not just no simple t-shirts. It's going to be pants and all that and sportswear, sports bra. And I found a designer in Dallas. His name is Joshua Anderson, if I believe so. And I got to have a meeting lunch with him this Sunday. So, I actually got to talk to my
boy. Hey, that boy making moves.
Like before here, I was meeting with the chick I was talking about. Like I'm meeting with lunches and I'm learning the webs, learning how to try to get in the business of making a website for this. So it can become more easier. So we don't have to depend on YouTube and Spotify and all them to pay us. We get more traffic through the website. It helps all of us. Like we're 50-50 partners in this business, but it's my job to grow the media side while Didi talks about the money and we kind of understand and do a rundown. So that's where my hand is at right now. And no one sees it because I guess they don't see I guess they just like, well, he ain't, don't seem like he flashed money and nothing like that. Trust me. I want to flash money sometimes, but I'm behind the camera. So how can I flash money if I'm behind the camera? But, it's going to get to a point we can do that. But that's where my investment is right now, bro.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. Yeah, I don't even approve of flashing money. I did a little bit yesterday, but this was just a little pocket
change. It was
a
music video, man.
It was a little pocket change, man. I usually don't even see money. All my money is digital, stocks and all kind of stuff like that.
We human, man. Like, if you ain't doing it every weekend, like yesterday, man, we were our homies. People we grew up, I don't think none of us were envious of nobody. It was a great time. We were being boys of the summer. Yesterday, it was a great fit. I'm not trying to detract what we're talking about, but yesterday I actually had a great time. If I didn't have to get to the anniversary party, I would have stayed out there and kick it just to see, like you said, you seen Brian yesterday. Yeah. Me, Brian, and DaVinci, we were on the same basketball team. We went to playoffs. We had, it takes us back 10 years ago when we played sports together. But now we're grown men. We're in our own business ventures. And it's like, man, it just felt good to take time away from work to be around them. But I also got paid to hang out with my homeboys.
Hey, see, that's the beauty of not just working the 9 to 5, man. You getting money and having fun. You got a passion for it.
Man, he called me at the spur of the moment. I think he called me at 2. He's like, hey, man, I need you to come. Woo. He was like, bro, I'll pay you and all that. He said, this is what I need. He explained it. He said, at first I didn't understand it when I got there, but he helped me understand what he needed. We got it correct, and it was just good. And he an entrepreneur himself. He knew that my time was, my time is valuable. He's like, bro, you got a professional camera. Just come take pictures, be a part of the crowd, and all that good stuff. And I'm like, hey, I'm your man. I'm literally your man. And I'm like, damn, people actually get paid. Because I'm thinking, when he said, I need your camera, he wanted to record it, but he's like, no, I got a cameraman. I need you to take pictures of the cameraman recording me.
Yeah, and it's deeper than that.
And it's I learned a new thing. I went search. I people actually get paid even on movie sets. They pay people to take pictures on set to get the whole production, not just the movie itself, but why is it production. And I'm like, man, that's the next thing in the line.
Photography it's a large field, man. You can do a lot with a camera, man. It's surprising, especially with these iPhones and stuff now. The quality of them, man. Sure, it ain't no way you can't make no money on the side.
One of the cameras I got is my iPhone. I've tried to, hey, I can't go buy another $1,000 camera like that. But it's I'm gonna use what I got to my better to further the cause until I get there. And it's here, the cut camera I'm using right now, guys. Yeah, is my iPhone.
It was 2 other cameramen out there with y'all chopping up about.
So JLD, actually, me and you actually, we did a shout out to him. It's I think it's
Ayos.
I think it's Ayo. Oh man, A Real or something like that. Man, his name is JLD. He say JLD.
Like and subscribe.
He say Justin. His name is Justin. Man, subscribe. We actually going to go do a crossover show with him. We go do his show. He come and do our show. We both from Hillsboro, and me and him actually chopped it up before I called you. He was like, man, this is a great time to be from Hillsboro because look at all the entrepreneurship going on right now. And he was like, ain't no hate. And he said, you show up with your camera, I show up with my camera. You give me a shout out. I'm like, man, look, I'm not hating on nobody from Hillsboro. We can have 4 or 5 more podcasts, and at least they can say, hey man, I watched JLD or I watched Didi and Chi on MIB, and it made me. I'm not trying to compete with you. Get your money so you can get your homeboys. And hey, they might create another financial show just like ours. Okay, this is good competition. Now we got to get better because we got someone that like competition doesn't scare me, but I'm not gonna stop. And I'll teach you. Hey man, this is what you need to do. Hey bro, just my pointer. It is what it is. Give you some things so you can avoid the mistakes we made. And it's like, to me, that's how you become an asset as a company. Yeah. If we were talking about protecting our assets, protecting your assets also bettering your assets. Yeah. So it can sustain tough hits.
Making yourself more valuable. You know what I'm saying? Like just in general, it will create more venues for you, more opportunities. It's gonna open more doors. You know what I'm saying? So like me, how many assets I plan to have in the future are going on? I want me at least 7, 8 streams of income. Being 25, trying to get it in right now. I got school. I still got to go through everyday stuff. But at the end of the day, like a degree, it's cool, but you got to have more than one stream of income coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Who you tell
That's
bro?
Just not going to do it for you. It's a new generation. Everybody can be their own boss. Like, you can be a Robin Hood. You can be your own stockbroker now. Back in the days, they didn't have that. We don't sleep on the opportunity.
You know what your biggest asset is?
Your brain.
And also your phone. People don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even need a laptop. Your phone is $1 million. Like, it's $1 million. It could be $1 million asset. People are making millions. Fans only. Taking pictures, uploading.
Oh, man.
Let me say this again. Fans only.
Yeah.
You don't even need a professional camera guy. You take if you're a chick, take a picture. What you got to do.
With your Android.
Your Android, you literally can make like the chick I seen, Say Cheese Diddle uploaded. She made in 2 days $100,000, and all she did was transfer her Instagram pictures and put it on fans only.
Yeah. I seen
her phone became an asset and not a liability. Where I'm paying on this phone every month $30, $50. That's a liability.
Yeah,
that's not protecting your asset.
Yeah, we ain't telling y'all to get naked and take pictures though.
Oh, we're not promoting it, but hey.
Get it is what it is. Get it how you live. You know
Edie brought up what was it last month? We are thinking about bringing someone who's willing to talk about the business aspect of fans only. Yeah, he gave me the idea last month, and now we trying to find someone. We're not going to exploit you or nothing like that. We just need to know the business side. This is money investment business, so you can help the next person who decides to get a fans only. We don't care what you do.
It's a respectful thing.
It's respect. We're not going to exploit you. We're not going to be having you.
We ain't going to be up here yelling at you. Who did that on the interview? Who was yelling at somebody on the interview? I forgot. But we ain't going to do none of that.
You say, nah, we're going to respect you. We just want to know the business aspect. We're going to ask you questions like, how did your family take and all that? Yeah. But we are looking for someone for fan only because this is business. Entrepreneurship is our thing. So, and this helps us understand, is this an asset? Like, hey guys, after this interview, if we have a fans only asset, this can be an asset for a lot of y'all who want to make a little bit of money and you got the looks or the body and you feel like you're comfortable with your body.
They take pictures of their feet and they still making bread. I don't know how they do it, man.
Hey man, your body and your mind is your best asset, but use other assets to strengthen your assets.
Yeah, man. I've really been looking into like drop shipping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe might be some.
You were like, you talking about like get contracted through Amazon?
Nah, not through Amazon. I talked to one of my homeboys today and they was like, cut the middleman off. Just send it straight from Walmart or from Alibaba straight to the other person's house. Just wrap it in a box. Yeah, it's. I ain't really looked into it, but it's pretty good money.
Yeah, so I've been looking into doing open cast calls for like extras in videos because I want to learn how to get better with the camera. But I've seen a couple ones that's for free. I don't mind going personally. But I seen one that's like charge you for, they call it $50 I think a day for an extra or something like that. And I'm like, I feel like $50, you overpaying me. But I'm gonna go out there. But it's like, I want to get to a point where I can, okay, this is how the production is run. Okay. And also, hey, you may discover my pretty face. Yeah. And now I'm on, but I feel like that's a good asset tool. But let's ask a real question. How do you protect it? Because I know we kind of went off, but how do we protect our assets?
By saving money, being prepared, knowing what you're getting yourself into before you actually invest money into it. Like,
so it's really about strategy.
Strategy, yeah, planning. Hey, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. You always got to have an organized plan to be successful in anything. Everything is created twice. It's in your head first, then you got to physically do it. That's how I plan stuff out.
The art of war says all wars are won even before the battle starts.
Yeah, it's won in the tent.
And they say it's one strategizing, having people in your right corner, having the right information because you can make the wrong decision and you lost the fight. And you thinking, oh, shit, I'm about to be a millionaire, but you didn't take the time to be like, okay, let's just hypothetically, I want to sell headphones.
Yeah,
I want to sell headphones, but it's like I know because Dr. Dre sold headphones, I can go get Apple to buy my headphones. No, number one, he has celebrity behind him, and he's a producer, so he has that clout. But you. Okay, are you willing to figure out, okay, what's going to be your market? Are you willing to pay for promotions? Okay, well, how good is your quality? Is it something you just go into a company and they just put your name on it? Or you going to go meet some type of engineer to try to figure out how to make headphones? I actually went and studied that like a couple weeks ago on how to make headphones. I'm not going to do it, but I was just wondering. Yeah, just like wondering. It's not something I would want to put my time to. I'm not knocking on one who would do it, but it's just too much strenuous work.
Yeah.
But what do you think could be the number one, like right now for a young brother your age, our age, what do you think would be the number one issue when it comes to not having not protecting your asset? Like in your comment, like most of the guys yourself, what would be the first thing you say? You know what? This is how you losing money. Or not protecting your assets.
Like I said, the people you hang around with, like, and just not investing in yourself, that'll kill you. Not being motivated, procrastinating, not reading every day. It's just a lot. They could mess up things.
What do you think that, like, how can you think they can kind of pay attention to what kind of person that is? Because, we can say a person can be a liability, not an asset, and it doesn't protect your asset. But what kind of some of the traits of that person so they can understand?
The liability traits?
Yeah.
Always talking about the old days, never talking about nothing new, never talking about money, want to gossip, being negative, just a negative energy. The vibrations on them don't feel right, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
That's how I do it. Like I told you, I'm not a spiritual person, but like I meditate 10 minutes every day, bring in good energy, all the kind of stuff like that. So I can kind of feel when something don't feel right, you know what I'm saying? When I spend a lot of time by myself at the church. So that's where I do all my work. And that's where I figure and plan everything out, make sure everything go right. I know things can go left, but it's always slow and direct. 98% of the time, the stuff I do work. I mean, if the formula ain't broke, I ain't gonna fix it.
Okay.
How you go about planning stuff, and what could, if you could do everything different, how would you do it? Like, if you was in my shoes and you was my age again, how would you go about
the knowledge I know now?
Yeah. Because I'm
23.
take notes.
You say 23 or 25, DD? 25. Let me go back 25 years. Where was I at? This is right before I started barber school. I think I was getting into, at that time, I was just trying to find an easy job. Anyway, I think at the time I was security. If I can go talk to a young 25 Shelton right now, your biggest liability is that demon in the mirror, which you call yourself Shelton.
Ooh.
Like, because the only time these people become liabilities is when I say yes to them. I would literally look at myself and say, what is your worth? What is your value? Because I was a liability to myself, spending before I had it, overspending, waking up the next morning. Like I say, I remember one day I was taking out, week to week, I was taking out loans for no apparent reason, running up your credit card. I was not protecting. Right now, you're seeing the result of me not taking care of myself at 25. And I look at it as from, like you said, you're not a spiritual person. I'm looking at it as from a trinity, a holy three: emotional, spiritual, and physical. Mm-hmm. I didn't take care of my health, so I got a little bit overweight. I'm working on that now, but I didn't take care of myself. We got to look at it as the best asset you can try to build is how I'm going to take care of 35-year-old Shelton. I'm 30 right now, so like I tell you, like just you take care of DD 30 years from now. Old African proverb says is, you treat business like land. Take care of the land and you're borrowing it from your grandkids. So I'm just taking care of what my grandkids are going to own. Right. I'm just a guardian, gatekeeper. So when they get it, they take care of my grandkids times 2 or whatever you want to call it.
Take over generation.
And it's like assets sometimes take some time too. But one thing is, what I learned about a camera a month ago, it's more of an asset now because I'm actually getting paid to take pictures.
That's crazy.
My camera is an asset. I can use it for fun time, but it makes me money. My clippers make me money. My computer, my podcast is going to make me money. Because we're building the asset right now, just talking every second.
Slowly and surely, y'all like and subscribe.
And so I would, if I could, and I'm not trying to get long-winded, if I could just tell you just right now, take care of DD at 30. So when you see in a 30, this is what happens when I didn't take care of myself at 25. Because now I got to learn how to take care of Shelton at 35 and 40 and get better. So, man, but you on a good track. You having this you asking this question, it's a good question. But what would you think non-friendship wise will be another thing that can cause you to lose an asset?
Motivation, I guess. What would make me lose the ability?
Right now, what do you think one of your biggest flaws is right now?
Like one of my biggest flaws
when it comes to like trying to protect your assets right
now. Man, I don't like tooting my own horn, but man, I think I do a pretty good job of it. But if anything, I would say give myself breaks. Give myself breaks. I don't never give myself breaks, and it's real bad, really, because once you catch up to your body, because it happened to me before. Yeah, it's not a good sight. So just protecting your mind, enjoying yourself, because it's like I think I told you before, we can't live without eating, but we don't live to eat. So sometimes you have to go have fun. Sometimes you gotta go enjoy yourself. Because if not,
therapeutic.
You know what I'm saying? If not,
it's like that. No, I totally agree, bro. It's your body will shut down. I told you earlier, I'm like, man, I was on the go all yesterday, and I was like, when we get done with this, I got an assistant now. I'm going to go take a nap.
Gotta do that, bro.
I'm going to take a nap, man. And I noticed, like, because I be burnt out by Wednesday, Tuesday. Y'all, people be thinking they be working hard at a job. Man, this is 24 hours. I gotta remember I'm telling you, the last 2-3 weeks, I probably read 2 pages of a book. That's how. And I'm like, man, I got to figure out like a time to dedicate to get back reading, because I notice my emotions kind of change when I'm not kind of like, you meditate. I be forgetting to meditate and take time to go work out. Like, because I'm like and I'm like, fuck that. Forget that. That's not really part of my regimen. But it's like, nah, that's part of the holy three, the mind, the spirit, and the physical got to kind of go hand in hand. And it's like right now, I'm just worrying about the intellectual and the monetary gain in the future, but it's like, man, my mind has to take a break. My emotions got to take a break. Because even my girl, you know, when we have our issues, a lot of times I just be trying to get the business going, and I be forgetting, you know, I am somebody's boyfriend.
Yeah.
I am, even my kids, I am somebody's father. Like, I did get a couple complaints just from my inner circle about like, hey, you kind of not really giving us our time. And not realizing they are just as much as my asset, because they're my emotional assets, my somewhat spiritual and physical assets, and I'm not taking care of them. I'm just trying to take care of the business. The business, you know, I should give it the proper attention, but these people need me.
Yeah.
So also, assets are not just money and business. It's also the people you have in your corner. They can be an asset too.
Yeah, nah, for real. People that depend on you, man. Like, I ain't got kids or nothing like that, but I'm not saying I'm like a father figure, but I kind of mentor a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I always got to remember, hey, check up on him. Hey, check up on him. His mama in the hospital, like one of my homeboys, mama in the hospital, she going through cancer. And, you know, I got to chop it up with him every now and then, see where he is, see if he's still level-headed, you know. So, it's not always just about money. The reason why I always find myself, people say I'm chasing money, I just chase the freedom of it, because, you know.
I can be free to call my homeboy and tell my homeboy, hey, you going through it. Don't worry about anything else. Come sleep on my couch. You don't have to worry about no paying bills. Get your mind right. Take care. Your mind, to me, is your number one asset. Everything else follows, because mental is going to tell the physical what to do. And, you know, emotional, your mind, to me, it's mental, emotional, physical. If I had to take care of your mental, because your body's going to do what your mind tell you. You a slave because of your mindset, not because you're physical bondage. Because it's like, if you know you're not a slave, it's going to, but physically, I may body, but I'm not a slave. Yeah, I don't have all the luxury, but I'm not a slave to this.
Nothing.
And to me, really, like we said, your mind is really your asset.
Subconscious and conscious,
Man, how do you know when you? How can you recognize what an asset is? Just monetary wise, physical wise, relationship wise.
If it's gonna better you, like if it's something that's gonna be of value, something that's not wasting time, something that's gonna give something back, something that you can plant and it's gonna bear fruit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bear fruit.
What is it you?
Like you said, I'm just gonna further what you got going.
Yeah.
It is really, how can I put it? Something good, really, really great good, but sometimes I can't recognize good. A lot of us can't recognize a good thing because it's that physical. A lot of people got to touch that asset. Like, I got to be able to touch that money in that account. I got to be able to touch that diamond. I got to be able to touch this relationship. And it's sometimes it makes me feel better when I don't even have to reach out to touch it. Like, I really don't have to reach out and touch it. A lot of times it's just one of those things where it's, how can I put it? I know in my mind I can sleep at ease. You know you can sleep at ease knowing that you got your vending machine in a good spot. So you protecting your ass out because I know this place doesn't have high crime. I remember the first episode. It's older people, so they just want to see you shine. You told them it's for college. Where if you got it in Oak Cliff, you got to worry about break-ins. I'm not saying Oak Cliff is not a bad place, but I'm not saying Oak Cliff. Shout out to Dallas. We love Dallas. I'm just saying you just have it in a sketchy area. You can have it in Plano.
Actually, they brought that up yesterday when we were doing a video shoot. One of the young cats told me, they're like, man, hey, how you get vending machines? I'm going to put one on the block. And they were like, why you ain't put one on the block? I said, because it's like, man, I hate to say it, but somebody could do something to it. I don't feel that it's safe here. Yes. Somebody could destroy my asset. And that's what I'm trying. I'm protecting my asset. What is up there in Weatherford is protected. I don't got to worry about it. It's been there.
Yeah, man. It's even like, I know my studio / my apartment, so I got to be kind of real. Like, this is my asset. Like, I have real equipment. That's why, like, if someone come on the show, I got to be able, I can get a vibe from them. I got to know where you live. Yeah. To the most part, because this is my number one asset. But what I'm going to protect always first is this right here. Because if I ain't got this, I'm no good to no one. I can have $1 million camera, $1 million setup. If I ain't got the content or the knowledge behind it, it's no point. So I agree with you saying.
Oh, yeah. I believe that's the same for me, true for me, too. Because if I didn't have this, I wouldn't even probably be up here with you.
Just say, like, you got to be able to break it down. So, do you think that, let's just say hypothetically, one of your assets get hit, like take a real gut wrenching cut to the stomach.
Yeah.
Like do you think that people should, depending on what's going on, do you try to rebuild that asset or just take it as a loss? Or it depends on the whole situation?
It depends on the whole situation. Kind of going through that right now with the coin shortage. One of my vending machines didn't do too good. They didn't go over $20. So, it's not a huge cut. It's not a huge loss because I own it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's mine. I already paid for it. I keep 10% put up just in case something happens. Then I got my own, like what I do with my vending money is for when it get hit. And that's how you protect your assets. You gotta, if I got my vending machine money and just blew it every weekend and was going just using that money just to buy liability and stuff, I'd be behind. But because I'm wise and I know what to do with my money, I got money put up. Man, if the coin shortage go down until they print more money, I don't have to run my vending machines for a year. I still got that money. I won't touch it. I'll put it up.
Okay.
I can go afford to go get card readers if we decide to go cashless. You know what I'm saying? I can sell 2 of them and buy a card reader one.
Okay, so I know you talked about what you want your next lane, but right now, what is your next plan? What's your next plan of action for the next asset? Like, or fantasy? What's in your dream fantasy? Well, I'm not gonna say it may just be. It's gonna turn into things. Yeah. What would be an asset that no one would expect you to do? Like try to go get. Or try to build
a car lot. It's possible. It's already in the works. Yeah. Like I talked to a few people. I actually got a website today from one of my homeboys. It's called a public auction where you can get cars for cheap.
Yeah, go to Lone Star Auction.
My ideas and stuff.
He said, go to Lone Star Auction. My OG put me onto it. It's straight out here out of Dallas. But
that's what it is. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna look into it though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying I might pull a little stock money out to get a couple of cars because it's not that expensive as people think it is.
Oh, okay.
What about you? What you got? What you got?
This is extreme. Outside of the clothing. This is just I want to get my own gas station and a daycare. Like, really a daycare. Like, a little daycare. Because I want the daycare. I kind of want to, like, it's a daycare, but we want to teach 3-year-olds just with one. Like, I know you can't just give them a course, but, like, you kind of learn something at the daycare. Like, just small stuff. Like, it's not homework, but your kids know some of the simple things. Like, hey, let your kids slide their card so they know how to swipe a card. Yeah. When they come in, that's number one thing. So they get the feeling of swiping a card. Or, hey, if you're 6 through 10, when you want something from the candy store, we give you, like, say my daycare is called Cheese Daycare. You get $Chi. Your kids got to know how to take $1. Okay, this candy costs $2 Chi. But you give me a solid $5 Chi. How much money are you getting back? We kind of teach you the ins and outs of the, okay, cool. Basic. Hey, we give kids $Chi throughout the day on good behavior and all that. But they got to know how to balance their $Chi bank account. Like, okay, hey, how much do you have in your thing at the end of the day? Well, I have this much in $Chi cash, and I also have this in the savings part. Yeah. How just like if your kids go through the regiment, this is school outside of school. Yeah. And to me, I know it sounds like that's extreme. No, it's not extreme.
Nah, it's not at all.
Because I'm not going to give them real money, but $Chi, look, the candy's technically going to be free. I just want them to get, because number one, they're going to want to strive to have a good behavior and hit certain quotas. Yeah. But also, they also learning if I give them real money, well, when I was at Cheese Daycare, I remember this how much I could. Okay, this is how I balance a checkbook. Oh, I remember how much money I should keep in cash. Yeah. I know how to swipe a debit card. I know how to look at a receipt. Okay, last week I had this, and this. I feel like that actually happened in my sixth grade year. I remember I went to South Davis. They had Bulldog books, and we had to balance out our thing every day, and we had to give it out to the teacher. The teacher would go over it and tell us that, if we got in trouble, we lost money. Yeah. We always got attendance allowance and all that. But at the end of the year, they'll put it in this big raffle, and in the raffle, you get to the more money you had, the more chance you had to win. This one girl cleaned up. She had straight A's. She didn't miss no day. She got the radio and all that good stuff at that time.
So that would have made me stay in school. But sure, yeah, the Chi it'll teach a kid like what is value. Because then you gonna have little kids running around talking about, hey man, I bought some Chi, man. I ain't got no Chi. What happened to your Chi, man? I lost it. I done bought the candy. And that's when you can teach kids value. Put something that costs 30, 40 Chi, like a video game or something. Or, you know what I'm saying? Then they'll be like, hey, how can I get this? Yeah. It'll kind of spark their mind. Like, all right, if I say this amount of Chi, I can get that finally. And then all the other kids are going to be like, dang, I wish I could have that too. He teach them the ropes.
And it's like, I had this, and this is more extreme. Each kid in classroom, they're going to be in charge of something. So each kid got to pay that kid for that. Like, okay, this kid owns the locker room. You got to give this kid, but this kid got to come up with a set price on how to go to the locker room, all that. You pay him, but he also got to pay us to keep it running. Yeah. So it teaches him about finances, but the expenses. Okay, this girl's in charge of pencils. Instead of coming to the teacher for pencils, the teacher gives her the pencils, but she pays the teacher for the pencil supplies. So she gives us 200 Chi. How much do you want to charge for a pencil? Okay, I want to charge $2. If this kid doesn't have it today, but she ain't got the money, okay, we're going to write an IOU and make sure everybody in this class knows this kid can't go operate until this, and this. But if that kid wants to, if that one kid owes $2 and don't have it, but let's say he owns a sheet of paper. Okay, well, I can trade you for this. It's a barter system. So it kind of gives the kid the idea of just the basic, at its smallest core, how to operate with business and how to manipulate the system, but learn how to work around the system. Because sometimes I want to have a shortage on pencil. Okay, what are you going to do? Yeah. Can you go find some old pencils and tell some people, hey, let's break this pencil. We'll have you use this pencil. I use this pencil. We share an eraser.
Yeah, sure. Nah, hey, man. Don't give me that class. Might be for some grown-ups, because I know grown-ups don't even know how that stuff works.
A lot of grown-ups' minds are liabilities. A lot of kids. Right now, every kid that's under 18 is an asset. And even then when you get out, but for the most part, because their minds are still getting molded and they don't know yet. Because when they get to college, it's kind of not over with, but they're going to have to do more failure and they're not going to want to listen. At least when you send them to college, they have somewhat of understanding of what an asset is.
Yeah, they sure need to learn that before they take their student loan out. Cause
liability.
Big hits.
We're gonna have to have another conversation. We did it on the phone about is college a scam. We're gonna have to actually do that.
Nah, we can run that back.
Yeah, we run that back. We did that over the phone, but we might have to run that back.
Because I ain't get to say everything I wanted to say. I'm a college student myself. I ain't bashing college or nothing like that.
But yeah, if you want to be a doctor, that's better. Like 100K, but you getting paid $160 a year.
Yeah,
you should not be going to school for no Black history. I'm not. I love my people, but don't pay $60,000 to go learn about Black history. Go to the library, read a book, order a book. Ain't nobody's paying no one's paying, unless you're a professor at a HBCU. No one's paying you to know about Black history.
So they don't even want you to know it, but that's not telling you not to learn it. You should go learn.
Don't make it a liability. Like now you're working at McDonald's because you decided to go learn about all the Black historic leaders.
Nah, for real.
Man. But you got anything else we want to chop it up about? I know today was real short, but it's really cut and dry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, protect your liabilities, man. You gotta, to protect your assets. Don't protect your liabilities. You really
say, Didi told me to protect my liabilities, so I'm about to go put my money at the strip club.
Nah, don't do that. Learn how to save. Start tracking how much you spend a month. That's kind of what set the tone for me. You know what I'm saying? I was seeing how much money I was wasting, and I got a hold of it. I'm like, okay, bet. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn this into that. You know what I'm saying? So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So right now, what would you tell the kid your age? And they say, man, I just want to learn how to protect. Like you say, you clean shoes, but they clean their shoes. What would you tell them what should they wake up and do? What should be their habits daily?
Should wake up, post your stuff, post that you cleaning shoes, try to get your clientele up. Because I feel like it's not the same, but haircut and shoes is kind of, the business is kind of running the same. Because you get your shoes dirty every once in a while, your hair grow. So try to build your clientele up. Some of my customers, they come back like every 2-3 weeks. So you gotta build a clientele up.
Yeah, so I feel the same way with a lot of times. It's like you gotta recognize that you have an asset, but your asset can become a liability when you're not letting people know that you got it. You're not for service. Like you can be the dope. I don't think I'm the greatest barber of all time, but people at least know that I cut hair. At the very minimum, you know it. So it's one of those things people got to know that you have it. If it's one of those assets, like if it's an asset you got, a service that you got to sell, because people are not going to come, unless you're a celebrity. If Didi don't tell people he knows the stock market, you think they're going to come search for Didi?
No.
If Didi don't post stuff about you, you think they're going to come search Didi? Vending machine, person walk past, I really don't have to promote it.
Yeah, that's why I love it. I don't need nobody to share nothing.
It's like this, like the promotion, like people got to kind of know that we got it out there, so we got to spend all day reposting the same stuff most of the time. Because I know I do it, and I see you do it too. And it's like people got to know that this asset is here. Because when we get to a point, all they got to take is upload, and all right, man, I catch you later. Oh, it's doing numbers. Afternoon, we ain't got 1,000 views. Yeah, right now. To get one view.
It's the grind, man. We got to keep pushing it out. That's all it is.
We got to have a conversation. We got so many conversations we're going to give y'all, man, with us. Because we got to have is college a scam? The grind.
Grind is real.
And also, but man, I really appreciate you. So I'll go ahead and let you wrap it up, bro.
All right, man. Hey, y'all like and subscribe to the video, man. Y'all keep sharing and supporting. Shout out to everybody that's out there doing their thing and liking and sharing. We appreciate that, man.
And man, today's show was protecting our assets. I hope y'all gained something. I hope y'all learned something. Reach out to us. We're not above approach. Me and Didi don't mind. If you want to group message us at the same time on Facebook, let us know. Everything on Facebook. Our Snapchat is MIB Podcast. On Twitter, it is MIB Podcast. And Podcast MIB. On YouTube, it's MIB Podcast Texas. Facebook, it's MIB Podcast Texas. I'm Shelton G.
I'm DD.
Hey, man, hit us up and let us know. And we are
MIB.